BDPA created exposure for countless African American people in tech, opening doors often before others recognized what was possible.
The three words that I would use to describe BDPA is family,
wonderful knowledge.
Absolutely 10 incredible students that have learned to control a robot arm that will prepare them for future jobs in robotics.
three words, labor of love, fun,
Enduring.
Family from a family.
AI has the power to automate. But if it's using untrusted data, can you trust the results? Your business doesn't just need AI, it needs the right AI for your business. Introducing Watson X, a platform designed to multiply output by tailoring AI to your needs. When you Watson X your business, you can train, tune, and deploy AI, all with your trusted data. Let's create the right AI for your business with Watson X. IBM, let's create.
Hey everybody, my name is Kanika Tolver and I am a Senior AI Product Manager at Career Rehab. And today we have an amazing opportunity to talk to an amazing guest. We have Miss Indigo Emanuel.
That's correct.
All right, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So today I really want to hear more about your story as a student going through the program.
Certainly.
Could you walk us through a little bit about how you got introduced to BDPA and you know, what was your first experience working with them?
Absolutely, yeah. So I joined BDPA in the 7th grade. And I think that was back in maybe 2012-ish, a while back. And
so we know you're not in the 7th grade no more.
Yeah, it's been a minute. And so I actually joined through my brother who joined a year prior.
Okay.
And so he found out about this club or through this program through a Rubik's Cube club that he was in, and his friend had told him about the program. And from there, he did 1 year in the program, and he did the high school computer competition. And you know, I'll probably go over that a little bit more later on, but that's pretty much where you compete in a major coding competition. It's national, so there's BDPA chapters that come from all over the nation to compete in their skills. And so he did that for his first year in the program, and he actually ended up winning first place. And so with first place comes some prizes and some scholarship money. And one of those prizes was a brand new laptop. And so, you know, I'm in the 7th grade and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This is exciting. I would like a laptop as well. So that is pretty much what inspired me to join the program the next year. And, you know, given that I was in the 7th grade, the high school computer competition, it starts in the 8th grade. So for someone like me who didn't qualify just from my grade, they had another program, which was the gaming program, which allowed us younger students to join. And so I did that for my first year. And we used programs like Scratch to build tic-tac-toe games and maze games from scratch. And I just had so much fun with that. It didn't feel like a class. It didn't feel like a chore to me to do this every Saturday. And I even, took these assignments home and started expanding upon them and coming back to class to present like the new stuff that I had researched. And so from there, then I joined the high school computing competition in the next year. And so I continued with the class from there all throughout high school.
So tell me a little bit more about, as you were elevating each year, what was you learning? Was there any technologies, programming languages that you want to kind of share with the audience that, you know, I know you started and got introduced in the 7th grade, but even when you got into high school, were you elevating your skills in any way?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so the first programming language that I worked with was Scratch with the gaming competition, and then, or with the gaming class. And then within the high school computer competition, our goal was to prepare for the actual competition that happens every August of the year. And so to prepare for that competition, we had learned some basic coding languages. So we always started with HTML, hypertext markup language, and then we went on to CSS. So that gives us the basic text on our web pages and then the styling.
Yep.
And then from there, we learned the background language switches depending on who's instructing or the requirements that we're expecting for the competition. But we always learned a background language afterwards. And the one I'm most familiar with is PHP. And as a background language, you know, we're just ensuring that it's not just a page that's pretty, but it can actually perform some functionalities, like allow users to log in and log out, for example. And then outside of just the technical languages that we learned, I think that I got some really good speaking skills from BDPA. Every time that we created a new website or project, we had to actually present it to the class.
Okay. Demo it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And no matter if it was completed or if it failed or if it wasn't working as expected, we always had to present our projects. So it didn't only teach me how to speak to an audience, but to present my work and how to kind of work through any errors, you know. How to work, this part doesn't work, but I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to, you know, it taught me how to think quickly on the spot to figure out workarounds and things like that. You know, we're still updating this feature, things like that.
I love that.
That I learned. And then, of course, those skills helped within the competition where, you know, after we complete our websites, we actually presented them to judges. So, yeah.
I love that so much that you were developing professional speaking skills or presentation skills, because working in tech, that's really important to not just be a developer or a coder or a programmer or an engineer, but being able to demonstrate what you've built to various different stakeholders and audiences.
Absolutely.
And to have that skill set to be developed as a high schooler, I find that to be super fascinating and impressive. What have you done in your career? Like, did you, after high school and I guess we maybe should step back and talk about the competition.
Yeah.
Walk me through like how you prepare for the competition, because I really want to hear like what you're doing now, like what you're doing in your career now. But I want to walk a little bit back towards the competition. How did you prepare and how did you go about winning the competition? Walk us through, because I find that to be super exciting that you were able to win, but I know there probably was a lot of preparation.
Yeah, that was pretty much our main goal with the class, prepare for the competition. So just to explain what the competition is exactly, you take chapters, BDPA chapters from all the different states that have students learning coding, essentially, and we all compete where we are given a prompt so that we can make a website pretty much on the spot with said prompt and present those to the judges. And so to get into a little bit more detail, back in my day, the program has definitely changed with time, which is good. Back in my day, we were given 8 hours as a team, and then we were given the prompt on the spot, in the room, with no internet. So we've got our computers, they're unplugged, and we've got our script, we've got our prompt, essentially, and we have to develop the website that they are requiring within that time. And then we present shortly after, and then after that we have an awards ceremony to see who got first, second, third, and then with that comes scholarship prizes and laptops and things such as that that my brother won. So given that we don't know the prompts going into the competition, you know, that makes preparation a little bit tricky. However, that also makes it so that, you know, when we practice and when we code, we're very well-rounded so that we can pretty much expect anything. So we learned how to code I would say generally. We learned the languages first, and then we were given many different types of projects. We were asked to make like a lottery system. We were asked to make like a Reddit type of forum website, all different types of scenarios that prepared us for the competition and whatever we can accept. Thank you. Whatever we could expect. So yeah. And then I can actually go a little bit more into the competition and maybe talk about outside of the competition itself. These competitions are held at the annual BDPA conferences.
Okay.
So the competition is actually just one piece. Outside of it, all different types of tech professionals in the BDPA industry, they get together and they pretty much discuss all things tech, emerging tech, what they're doing in their tech careers,
right?
Everything tech.
Did attending that, was it inspiring to be at the annual conference and to know that you're participating in the competition, but then to also see so many amazing other technology professionals?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it kind of reminds me of another skill that we picked up being BDPA students, which is networking. I was definitely taught the importance of networking, where you're going to these conferences and you're like, wow, this guy, he's the CEO of his own company. He's got an AI company. Like, and of course, you're meeting these people and you're making your connections. And, you know, that stuff is very, very important. And I found even in a recent time within my life where, you know, I'm talking to these connections again and, you know, they are able to help me and we're able to update each other on what we're doing. So that was a very important part. And then another cool thing about the conferences is that, you know, they're pretty much held at a different place every year.
Right.
We oftentimes travel for them. So as a high school student, I'm like, awesome, we get to go check out another state.
Right. Stay in a hotel and hang
exactly.
out and be able to go see what another city or state looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's amazing. What type of pressure did you have when the competition was happening? Did you feel pressured? Did you feel scared? Did you feel like, hey, I'm not sure if I'm going to win? Mm-hmm. How did you deal with potential negative thoughts, or, you know, if you did have negative thoughts, maybe you felt confident because I know you said you did a lot of upfront training.
Right.
How did you feel like going through the competition process? Did you feel scared at all?
Yeah, no, I think it's always going to be a little mix of fear, you know, anticipation.
Right.
I hope I win. I hope the problem is something that I know how to do. And just to also mention, these competitions, you're on a team of like 3 to 5. Okay. So you do have a support system.
Yeah, so you're not alone. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'll say it's mostly like anticipation, like excitement. Like, we've been training for this all year, and we're finally here, and we are just ready to go.
So when you won, how did you and your team feel? Like,
I
mean, like, what type of emotions did you have?
Yeah, we absolutely celebrated. I can remember a comment that we had, that we were given. They said like we had gotten up, like we had just won the Oscars. Because I will say, this first place win, this was the 2019 high school computer competition. This was years in the making. As I mentioned, I think I joined BDPA maybe around 2012-ish. It was a long time ago.
So that's about, 7 years being a part of the organization. And
exactly.
Yeah, it seems like being a part of that for 7 years, we think about like 7 years is like the symbolization of completion, right?
Right.
And you probably had got a lot of nurturing and training and learning and the development of presentation skills and even your technical skills. That's probably why you won.
Yeah,
you have been working at it and working with them for such a great amount of time. So
absolutely.
I would love to hear more about what are you doing right now.
Yeah.
I know that was in 2019 when you won. From 2019, did you do other amazing things after that? Kind of walk me through, like, what's your story?
Absolutely. So I'll start by taking a step back and going into one of the competitions that we did. I believe it was my competition competition, actually. It was in New Orleans. And I was just so excited. I've heard so many great things. It's a fun city, and the food is amazing.
Yeah.
So we had the competition there, and you know, outside of just the coding and the convention itself, you get to travel and see the city.
Yep.
So I fell in love with New Orleans. So that kind of stuck with me throughout my time in high school. So I had decided that I'm going to attend Tulane University for college. Which is located in New Orleans. And so from 2019, I graduated high school in 2020, and I started at Tulane University. And there I got my bachelor's degree in 3 years in integrated application development.
Okay.
And then I got my master's degree in 1 more year in information technology management. And so to talk a little bit about...
So hold on. Back us up. So you got a bachelor's degree in 3 years, and then you did another year to get your master's.
That is
so
correct.
you technically got 2 degrees in 4 years, and most people get 1 computer science degree or technical career in 4-year period. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. How did you do it? How did you do it?
It's 2 things. The first thing is the high school that I went to, the Academy of Health and Sciences, it was a dual enrollment program.
Okay.
So in 2 years you earn your high school diploma, and then in another 2 years you earn your associate's degree. So from there, I'm kind of coming out of high school with an associate's degree, so I can apply those credits to college. But I will say it wasn't as easy as you would expect. You know, some schools are pretty strict about what credits they accept, and Tulane was one of them. Mm-hmm. So this kind of goes back into another lesson that I was taught by my mentor, Mr. Lou Shack. And he pretty much taught me, you know, within the industry of education and business, don't take the first no as your final answer. So I pretty much took that line and that mentorship with me throughout the rest of my life, pretty much. And, you know, with Tulane, they said, hey, we're not going to take all these credits. So I reached higher up. I said, well, I've already earned them. These are accredited. This is an accredited university. Let's go from there. So, you know, and I apply that into my daily life as well. So, right now, you had asked me, you know, where am I from? You know,
yeah,
school.
I want to know because you've done amazing since, I mean, college. I want to know, what are you doing right now?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in my junior year, when getting my bachelor's degree, I started a summer internship working for NASA.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they had it it was a 1-semester internship, going back into, you know, not taking the first no. I pretty much would enact, hey, can I extend my internship? I loved it here. I think I did good work. So they extended me another year. Awesome. So I interned with NASA for a year. And then NASA interns, they were given a mentor. And so my mentor said, hey, you should take a tour of this other NASA site, NASA Goddard. So I said, absolutely. I would love to. So I took a tour. And the tour actually turned into an impromptu interview.
Wow.
On the spot, yeah, with the director of the software engineering division of NASA. So
was that here in the Greenbelt?
Yep,
location?
Greenbelt.
Okay,
Yes.
Greenbelt, Maryland. For those
Absolutely.
that are listening.
Yep, born and raised in PG County, so local.
Me too. So I was like, I don't think she's talking about the Greenbelt, Maryland.
Yep, NASA Goddard in Greenbelt. So, yeah, so from that impromptu interview, I was offered a full-time position contracting for NASA Goddard.
Awesome.
And I worked that role for 3 years. And so to get very current, as of Monday, you know, I've decided to switch my roles. And now from that previous job, I am now working as a cloud engineer and test for a company named Cloudforce. And it is Microsoft's Education Partner of the Year, and they essentially work on deploying AI agents out to universities, and then they can, you know, rename it and restructure it to however they need to, but the purpose of it is that it's a little bit more secure than the open-faced ChatGPT, where this is university-based AI technologies. So that's where I currently am.
So you got into cloud computing, is what you're telling me?
That is correct.
Because you said you're going to be a cloud engineer.
Correct.
For Cloudforce. Walk me through how you took that experience from being a developer, doing, websites, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and the work that you were doing at NASA the first 3 years, how did you leverage that knowledge into cloud engineering? Because I find cloud engineering to be so fascinating right now, whether you're using Azure, AWS, or even Google Cloud Provider. How did you leverage your knowledge to get into cloud computing?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, as mentioned, I did do software engineering within the high school computer competition and application development for my major. So yeah, my first position with NASA Goddard, it was a software engineering role. And I was actually hired just to work on the front end.
Okay.
But, I'm a very curious person, and I'm wondering, what's happening in the back end? How do these things connect? So I started working on the back end code, and I'm like, well, what about the database? Where's this data coming from? How's it structured? Then I started working on the data aspect, and then I started working on testing all these features. So I pretty much became a full stack developer.
Full stack developer.
Absolutely. Just by, kind of going into the system and learning new things. So that kind of applied to my new position now, where, I had some capabilities. I had some opportunities to work on some of the cloud aspects. We worked with a lot of Azure and AWS at my last company.
Awesome.
And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So when looking for new opportunities, I said, I know I have this background in software engineering, but I said, I really enjoy, working on the cloud type of application. So with my next job search, I said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to learn as much as I can and take the knowledge that I have from school and from the previous job and, switch my path. And, it has paid out, as I will be starting my, new position come next week. So, yeah.
What's so fascinating about your story is that you lean into what your mentor said. You didn't take no one answer. Every time you leveled up, whenever there was an obstacle that presented itself, you asked questions, you asked for extensions for your internships, you were hired to do front-end development, but you went in and you dived deeper into back-end and database development as well. It's just so inspiring to hear that we can do it. Like, sometimes we believe that we can't do it sometimes, but your mentor definitely taught you something so early. Could you give a little bit of advice to someone who feels like they are taking a no or rejection to the point that they don't want to keep trying? Because sometimes in tech, especially, being a Black woman, there are a lot of no's.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, well, I can say, for one, at some point, you always try your hardest. And as mentioned, with no's, maybe you can reach out to someone else or see if there's other pathways to achieve the goals that you've set out. But sometimes there are simply just dead ends. And with that, I can take another piece of advice that my mentor gave me is that, to a certain degree, a lot of things happen for a reason. Maybe you really, really wanted this job, but you didn't end up getting it, and you felt like, oh, this was my plan, this is what I wanted. Maybe a month later you have another job, which is exactly what you want, more pay, a nice work culture. Sometimes you just have to understand that, there's always a time and a place for everything.
Yes.
So, taking that, you have to have a glass half full type of mentality with these things, and just know it's always going to work out. If you put your best foot forward, it's going to work out.
I love that so much. I want to get your perspective on future trending technologies and where do you see yourself? I know you're moving into a cloud engineering role, but just in general, what is your take on AI and how do you feel it's going to change the world, even change your career, or just change how we're doing things in the industry?
Absolutely. Yeah, so this current role that I have is it's a cloud applications engineer for an AI company.
Okay.
One of Microsoft's partner of the year for the AI deployments that they do to universities. So for me, I definitely appreciate and understand the fact that AI is the latest and the greatest. And, coming from a software engineer, we always discuss, is this going to take my job? Where's the future look like? And I always think that, as someone who codes and who has utilized AI, there's a balance. I think that we can use AI as a tool to help us move forward without being worried that it will replace jobs or things as such. So that was also a goal with where I went next with my career. I wanted to get into the newest, the latest, and the greatest. So, and I feel like AI is that. And
it definitely is. When you say tools, are you vibe coding?
Yeah, to a certain degree. To a certain degree, I do.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you have that development experience before that was a thing, right? Before vibe coding became a thing. So I wanted to just kind of ask you one more question. BDPA, how did it transform your career and your life to where you are today? Because we started at the beginning of you talking about your story of being a 7th grader and being introduced to the organization through your brother. How do you think this organization, if you probably never got introduced to them, do you think you would be where you are today, or do you think it would have been a little bit harder?
Right, that's a great question. And I will say that before I heard about BDPA, I wanted to be an artist in a certain way, but I really wasn't sure how. And so when I found out about game development to start, I was like, wow, this is an art form in its own way. I'm creating something from scratch. Literally the scratch application. And then same thing with coding. I'm developing and creating things from scratch, which is like the aspect of art that I really enjoyed. So, I always tell everyone that I wouldn't be where I am today without the BDPA program. And that is just honestly, that's honestly the truth. I always say, like with interviews, it's partially your technical skills, but it's also your speaking skills and how well you can present yourself. I got those skills from BDPA. Coming from the technical skills, I got those from BDPA as well. How to code, how to network, how to talk to judges, things like that. And, it's definitely been a really important piece of my life. And that's why outside of work, on Saturdays, I've now come back, now that I've graduated, and I am a robotics instructor to raise up the new generation just as I was. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. It's like, the community gave to you, and now you're giving back to the community.
Absolutely.
Which is so important, and something that I do. I do a lot of giving back to the community, being in tech for almost 2 decades. It warms my heart to know that someone took a chance on pouring into me, and there's some girl or there's some boy out there that is looking for somebody to take a chance on them, because having a tech career has changed my life. I've been able to change other people's lives, and it's just endless money. I mean, you can really secure the bag out here.
Absolutely.
Because you've been going up and up and up, and you can make more money. You can change your family's life, and you can develop, financial wealth for yourself. But the most important thing that I get out of serving is showing someone else what someone showed me, and I think your story is so amazing, and I love the fact that you're an instructor.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for spending time with me today to give me more information about who you are, and congratulations again on, getting this new cloud engineering role, and I know that you're going to continue to do great things.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Now, when any department goes out into the community, we're able to hear the positive responses. And that is a great feeling to know that what we're doing is affecting and impacting the community. In the past, we've heard negative responses about the city being unclean, there's a lot of trash on the ground, or the police, we never see them.
It was important for our residents to feel as though that government was going to be responsive.
People were relying on a 9 to 5 being able to contact about any issues that they had.
we put together a very innovative app that gave our residents access.
IBM assisted the City of Seat Pleasant to incorporate Watson into the My Seat Pleasant app. Any resident who has a question that they want to ask about the city on a 24-hour basis can go into the app and click on Watson to ask it a question.
We had a tree fall, and instead of having to call City Hall, I just went and used the chat and said that there's a tree falling in the middle of the street, and they sent Public Works out to get it for me.
I've used it to report potholes that are in the street. I've used it to see what's going on in the city.
No matter where our Public Works director is, no matter where our employees are, they're able to log in because it is on IBM Cloud and get the service request in real time and respond, in a quick and efficient manner.
It allows them to get to us sooner. On a weekend doesn't matter because it comes through, I'm going to get it. So I love it. I don't see how we ever did without it.
When I think about BDPA, I think about legacy. Legacy is the lasting impact that exists when you're no longer here. Legacy is not about individual accomplishments. It's not about individual success. So when I think about BDPA, I think about it providing an opportunity for Black professionals in IT to create impact on students, on entry-level professionals, and on executives, from the classroom to the boardroom.
Being here at BDPA Con 50 in Atlanta, celebrating half a century of innovation, is humbling and it's energizing. The Tech Dispute was born from a simple but powerful ideal. Technology moves faster, but conflicts tend to slow it down. Whether it's AI contracts, IP conflicts, software disagreements, we built a platform to resolve tech issues smarter, faster, and fairer. Winning first place is not just a personal milestone, it's a validation that our mission matters. Thank you to the judges, my fellow innovators in the competition, and BDPA community for believing in what we're building.
50 years is quite some time, and the organization has flourished, not just lasted, not just survived, but it has thrived, and it makes me very proud and thankful.
It's important to understand, why we do what we do. Right? Your value has to be driven through your mission statement, and then through that mission statement, you have to execute. There's too many organizations that talk a good talk. So here at Prolifics, we stay very quiet, and we do the things in the back end. So this year, what I wanted to do is make sure we put the action, our talent and our money where our mouths are, right? So we said, instead of giving the winner cash, what we're gonna do is give him the equivalent that I charge all of the big companies that I work with, and give them some of my best guys to put on their project. And we're gonna give them $8,000 of value in those hours because we want to see the project go.
As I walked around today, seeing workshops on AI and robotics competitions, seeing our young people talking about things on the cutting edge of the industry and knowing that they are, in fact, the future. So for me, it's not just a question of looking back that we've lasted it for 50 years, but look at where we may be going.
I joined BDPA in 1976. So from that time forward, BDPA has grown significantly. During my tenure and the presidents behind me, the organization grew to approximately 50 chapters around the country. In other words, BDPA was in every major city in the United States. We've grown as the technology has changed, so I've seen BDPA have a major role in the advancement of that technology. In the future, I would like to see BDPA provide think tank contributions with ideas and strategies for our lawmakers to follow, as well as continue to open doors for the youth who want to participate in the field of information technology.
As a young black woman in tech, you know, you have to be strong, you have to be a voice to those, and that's why I love working with students. We need someone to be there, to be an example to them, and that's what I love about BDPA. As we continue to grow with the different programs, we move to a younger audience, and I really hope to be here another 50 years involved in the organization, and I love what it is all about.
I enjoyed my opportunities that I have with BDPA, and I look forward to creating even more legacy as time goes forward, because I want it to last beyond me. Congratulations, BDPA, on your 50th anniversary, and congratulations on an awesome conference.